Thanks for joining us. Today we're going to go ahead and do a walkthrough of the installation of our OneScreen GoSafe floor stand. I wanted to make sure that you guys have an understanding of all the pieces here. Now, our OneScreen GoSafe comes in its own box, obviously, and this is how it comes. It has a cylinder piece that's on the back of it, and that's what's going to affix to our floor stand. Now, also, real quick to note is we do have a nut on here that we're going to remove as well to enable it to go ahead and connect to our floor stand. So we're going to get to that in just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and take these pieces down now. I just wanted you to see the boxes themselves. So this is the floor base to the floor stand, okay? So I'm going to open this guy up. So just nice and simple, you literally have one piece in here, okay? You have your bubble wrap and you have your base for the floor stand. So I can go ahead and remove the boxing and the bubble wrap. And you'll see it's real simplistic. You have your feet down here to adjust for balance. And then of course right here is where the floor stand neck is actually going to go. So we'll go ahead and open that box as well and get that one out of the box. So now I just open the box. There's one little foam piece that you can remove, and then you can pull the whole neck of the 4-foot tall floor stand out of the box. I'm going to go ahead and gently place mine right here on the table. Now, I am showing you the bottom of the unit first because we are going to want to go ahead and install this floor base to the bottom of the unit before moving forward. And so on the bottom piece, we have the 3 screws here that I'm going to have to unscrew so that we can go ahead and put the base on and keep it secure. So now I'm going to grab my screwdriver, Phillips screwdriver, and go ahead and unscrew all 3 of these screws. So now I'm going to go ahead and remove the 3rd screw. Now that I have these off, I can go ahead and take my base. Now here's what's important. On the face of our floor stand neck, there's a blue line that goes right up the front. That's actually a light. And so what you want to make sure and note of is that there are screws here on these sides, but one side does not have screws. So you do want to make sure that this screwless side is also in line with the blue line on the floor stand. Now, all I have to do is then go ahead and screw in these same 3 screws, and that way we can go ahead and secure the base of the floor stand to the neck. So now that I have the 3 screws locked in, I can go ahead and pick up the unit and securely place it on the floor. Now from here, what you'll also notice, just like the base unit, that the front here does not have any screws. On the other 2 sides, I have 2 screws on either panel that I will need to go ahead and remove, and I'll do that right now. Okay, guys. I'm to my final 4th screw. Now that I've gotten the 4 screws taken off, I can slide off the black cap here. That's going to then expose the cables internally of the neck of this floor stand. Now, just to point out, there are 2 USB cables. There's also Ethernet, and there's also power, of course. Now, the 2 USB cables, as you can see, you have connections here. So you do want to go ahead and link up both of our USB connections that are connected to our GoSafe device. Now, this is very important, everybody. Remember, I mentioned this earlier. There is a nut that comes screwed onto this base here. You want to make sure to unscrew that nut and then carefully go ahead and take maybe a couple of these guys out at a time to slide it out from all the cable base. And at that point, you can set it aside for just a moment. Now, the next step at this point is making sure I take that same black cap, and now I'm going to funnel these pieces in. Remember, making sure they're coming from the top so that you can affix it right back onto the top of that floor stand. Again, nice and easy. Put just 1 or 2 at a time. As there's a lot of cables, it doesn't all fit into the hole at one time. Put that through. I'm going to go ahead and shimmy this guy right up here. Now from here, remember, I now want to put this nut back on because this is what's going to go ahead and secure this to the top of our floor stand. And yet again, it's a smaller hole, so we want to go ahead and just do a couple at a time to make it easy on ourselves, okay? So slowly but surely, we're going to go ahead and get these guys on, and then we can go ahead and start connecting our cables. Now, remember, our unit is Wi-Fi enabled, so if you guys want to have it go over Wi-Fi, that's fine. Otherwise, by all means, you can get it on Ethernet. So now I got this guy here. What I will do before I move on is I'm just going to go ahead and slide this guy on, and then I'm going to go ahead and start just screwing this guy in. Real simple. You want to find the threads and go ahead and screw it right back on. And this is what's going to secure this topical base piece right to our GoSafe unit. Now remember, before you tighten it too much, this does not have any screws on it, so you want to make sure this is in line with the face of the GoSafe. Now from here, I have all the different cables. Now you are going to go ahead and single out the necessary cables, the 2 USB, the Ethernet if you're connecting it, and the power cable. So all I do is get those cables, and as you can imagine, go ahead and start connecting them accordingly. So again, we have Ethernet, in this case, we have power, and we have 2 USB connections. It doesn't matter which USB cable goes into which port, just go ahead and plug them in. Now from here, real simple. You're just going to go ahead and funnel these pieces, these cables, right back down into the neck of the unit. Now remember, we do have access control connections here. So if you guys are connecting this with any kind of access control system, of course you are going to have some connections that are going to go with this guy as well, and these can funnel out from the bottom also, okay? I'm going to pick this guy up, and remember guys, this is important. As I funnel these guys down in here, remember, the front of this, nice and clean, there's no screws. Likewise, I have my blue line, and at the very bottom, there's no screws. So as I pop this guy on the top, we are almost finished. Get that guy on there, and now all I have to do is connect my last 4 screws. Okay guys, we've gone ahead and connected our last and final 4th screw, and now we've completed our installation of the OneScreen GoSafe floor stand. And just from an aesthetic standpoint, don't forget, the face of the unit would want to line up with the fact that there's no screw holes here or on the base plate, and that you have your blue light running right here as well. Thanks again for joining us today for our OneScreen GoSafe floor stand installation.